In this video, I'll be going through the features of the Casio AE1200, how to use those features, and how to make setting adjustments. These I believe should also work for the AE1000, 1400, and 2000 and all other models that use the same 3299 module. I'll try to explain as briefly as I could and would also be putting timestamps in the video in case you would want to skip to a specific feature. I do suggest, however, that you at least watch the entire first section where I'll go through the basic button layout and functions. I also shared my thoughts on this watch in a separate video, and I'll be putting a link to that in the description area in case you might be interested. This is your home screen. It basically just displays the current time, day, and date. This display over here basically mimics an analog display of your home time. Let me go through the basic function of each of these 4 buttons. This one, labeled light, obviously activates the illuminator. I'll also be labeling it negative input for the alternate functionality in the other modes as we'll go through later. This button here, appropriately labeled adjust, allows you to start making any setting adjustments through the watch's features with a long hold and also exit with a single press. At the home screen, a short press of this button will show a brief flash of your current time zone in this tiny panel that also displays the date. This one, labeled search, allows you to scroll through 4 pre-selected time zones in the home screen. I'll also be labeling it positive input, again for the extra functionality in the other modes. Notice that selecting any of 4 available time zones here won't affect the time on this display, which should always show your current home time. You can, however, swap those 2 time zones between these panels by pressing these 2 buttons simultaneously. Now this button, labeled mode, allows you to cycle through the different features of the watch in the following order: world time, alarm, countdown timer, stopwatch, and then back to the home screen. Notice that advancing through each of those features activates a beep that you can turn on or off with the long press of the button. Turning that sound off should display the mute icon on this panel on top. Also note that there's a distinct beep getting from stopwatch back to the home screen, which is a nice little touch letting you know that you're back to the main display. Again, I'll be alternately labeling this button as advanced. Any changes to basic time and date settings are done from the home screen. We begin making any adjustments with a long press of this button. You should hear a beep and then find the seconds field blinking. From here, each press on this button should allow you to advance through all the adjustable fields. I'll be flashing those fields on the screen in the exact same order you'll go through them on the display. Adjustments to the active field can be keyed in with either of the input buttons. For the hour, minute, year, month, and date fields, each press of this button should key in a positive increment and a negative one with this button. This field here shows your local time zone. While active, each press on this button should allow you to search through 48 registered cities in a direction going east on the map and to the west with this button. While on the seconds field, pressing this button would reset the value to 0. Doing the reset before the 30-second mark will keep the time at the current minute, and doing it after 30 will set your time to the next. This button here toggles DST settings on and off, time display between 12 and 24-hour formats, and backlight to either 1 or 3 second duration settings. Once you're done, simply press the adjust button to exit. To set your primary time zone, we get into the world timer feature, which should be a single press of this button from our home screen. From here, this button should allow you to scroll through 48 different time zones. A long press on this button should allow you to toggle DST settings on and off. Once set, we simply go back to the home screen by cycling through the features with this button. Your chosen time zone should now be assigned to T1 at the home screen. In here, you can select up to 3 different time zones in addition to your home time and store them in different slots for instant recall. Each press of this button should allow you to advance from T1, which is your current city, all the way to T4. To assign a time zone to a specific slot, begin by cycling through this button until you get to the slot you wish to set. Then do a long press on this button to activate the field. From here, we use again the input buttons to search for a city in the same way. With the world time settings screen active, this button here should allow you to toggle DST settings on and off independently for each of the 4 time slots. From the home screen, 2 presses of this button should get you to the alarm settings screen. From here, each press of this button cycles through 5 customizable alarms, and an option for an hourly chime. This button lets you independently toggle each of the 5 alarms from single, daily, and off. Hourly chimes can be set on and off similarly. To make settings to any of those 5 alarms, we again begin with the long hold of this button. Once active, we scroll through the fields with this button and key in our adjustments with either of these 2. This button again for positive increments, and this button the other way around. To exit, tap this button once, then cycle back to your home screen with this button. From the home screen, that would be 3 presses of this button to get to the countdown timer. Again, we begin making any adjustments with the long hold of this button. We advance through the hour, minute, and second fields with every press of this button, and key in our adjustments with either of these 2. This again for positive increments and this for negative. Once all adjustments are made, we exit with this button. This one should start and stop the timer, while this one resets it. We return to the home screen again by cycling through the features with this button. The stopwatch feature would be 4 presses of this button from the home screen. Press this button to start, and again to stop. This button here will reset the clock. With the clock running, you can record the split time with the press of this button. That should display a second time in this window. Another press on the button should bring you back to your main time, which should have kept running in the background. Again, this will stop the running clock, and this one for reset. It will only take a single press of this button from here to return to the home screen. If you found this video useful, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. If there are any other features I may have missed, please let me know in the comment section below. See you in the next video.